Hi, I'm Oluwatobiloba Akinwade, a graduate intern at Harlem Solicitors. Today, I'll be discussing on the principles governing interconnection of telecommunications network in Nigeria. What is interconnection? Interconnection is a procedure in which telecommunications network and services are linked in such a way they can function as coherent system. It's also the physical and logical linking under which telecommunication service providers connect their equipment, services, and network in order to allow customers have access to the network and services on consumers of other telecommunication service providers. It is important to know that interconnection can also be referred to as interconnectivity. The Nigerian Communications Commission, which is known as the NCC or the Commission, is the independent regulator of the telecommunications industry, and it is governed by the Nigerian Communications Act, which was signed into law on the 8th of July 2003. The rules governing interconnection is, however, provided in Section 96 to Section 100 of the Nigerian Communications Act of 2003. Section 96 makes provisions for the obligations to interconnect. The party is obligated to interconnect a licensee who makes a request to interconnect, and this interconnection must be in accordance with the principles stipulated in Section 97 of the Act. Whereby Section 97 of the Act makes provisions for the interconnection agreement. It makes it mandatory for all interconnection agreements to be in writing. It must be in accordance with the principle of transparency, non-discrimination, fair competition, and access to information. It further stipulates that the parties to the agreement must have agreed to the terms and conditions of the agreement. And the Commission will, however, intervene in certain circumstances where the request to intervene is made by both parties or either of the parties, or where the Commission sees that these interconnected parties have failed to reach a consensus as regards the agreement, or whereby the Commission sees the terms and conditions of the agreement inconsistent with the provisions of the Act, or where the Commission sees it in the interest of the public for them to intervene. Section 98, however, stipulates for the registration of the interconnection agreement that interconnection agreements must be registered within 30 days from the date of the execution of the agreement, while Section 99 empowers the Commission to make regulations as regards interconnection, and these regulations are not limited to the terms and conditions of the agreement, while Section 100 makes provision that a party is prohibited from disconnecting the other interconnecting party without prior written approval of the Commission. The regulations and guidelines made by the Commission as regards interconnection include the Telecommunications Network Interconnections Regulation of 2007, the guidelines on the procedure for granting their approval to disconnect a telecommunication operator, and the guidelines on technical standards for interconnectivity of network. In an interconnection agreement, we have the dominant party or the requested party, and we also have the new entrant or the requesting party. The dominant or requested party is the party to whom the request to interconnect is made, and the requesting or new entrant party is referred to the party who is making the request for interconnection. There's a legal binding document binding the interconnecting party known as the Interconnection Agreement or the Interconnect Agreement. This interconnection agreement or interconnect agreement is a contract that stipulates the term and obligations of the contracting party as regards interconnection. There are elements that are incorporated into this interconnection agreement. We have the interpretive or general provisions. We have the scope of interconnection. We have the points of interconnection. We have the infrastructure sharing and collocation. We have the billing. We have the termination. We have the arbitral clause, and so on. The main purpose of interconnection, however, is to break the chain of monopoly in the telecommunications industry. However, interconnection has enabled you and I to put a call through other consumers or subscribers of other network because there is interconnection. And this interconnection is due to the interconnection between the network services or the network services of you and I. However, the price that the interconnecting parties pay to each other for terminating each other's call is known as the interconnection rate. Interconnection has enabled the new entrants to have access to consumers or subscribers, and also it has enabled subscribers to communicate with one another and connect to all services they desire or demand. It has also given investors the confidence to come into the new market and ensure a fair competition in the telecommunications industry. However, there are situations whereby interconnection will not be possible. In situations whereby it is prohibited by the Act, or whereby the license issued to an operator does not authorize the service to which interconnect is sourced, or whereby interconnection will be impossible due to technical specification. I hope you've learned one or two things about interconnection. To learn more, kindly visit our website at www.halemsolicitors.com or our LinkedIn page at Halem Solicitors. Thank you.